We'll shut this shit off.
Come here, babes. Who's got a pretty coat, huh? Who's got a pretty coat? Come here, girl. Dolly. Come here, doll.
The man filming is 𝗍𝗬𝗀𝗀. This is his wife, 𝗠𝗬𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗏. To the outside world, they were a happy family. However, on the 24th of April 2018, at approximately 4 p.m., Dave dialed 911.
Hello? Look, lady, she stopped bleeding. I'm trying to do CPR. I can't.
Okay, listen to me. Can you tell me what your address is?
I don't know.
Okay, who is it that's not breathing?
My wife, I'm shocking.
Tell me exactly what happened.
I came over. I can't try.
Okay, what happened?
I found her in the shower.
And she passed away? They're almost there to you. They're responding emergency to you.
There's a blue dumpster. They have to come back. Oh God.
There's a blue dumpster. Wait, what? Is he? Oh, he's describing the front of the house. Okay, I was like, what?
What is blue?
There's a blue dumpster, big blue dumpster in the driveway. They have to turn in, and if they can get past it, they have to drive past it. If they can't get past it,
they'll park out in the street. They'll just park out in the street.
Yeah, but we're in the back. We're in the far back. They have to get back to the gate and come up the stairs. Oh, God.
The paramedics are on the property, okay? I'm going to stay on the phone with you.
It could be said that the phone call lacked authenticity, but without any reference to how Dave sounds when we can be sure he is genuinely crying, it would be grasping at straws. There was, however, one strange moment in the call that stands on its own. This audio clip will be repeated, and this time, pay attention to the sudden vocal tonality changes. He goes from distraught to calm, then back to distraught.
There's a blue dumpster. They have to come back. Oh God.
What is blue?
There's a blue dumpster, big blue dumpster in the driveway. They have to turn in, and if they can get past it, they have to drive past it. If they can't get past it,
they'll park out in the street. They'll just park out in the street.
Yeah, but we're in the back. We're in the far back. They have to get back to the gate and come up the stairs. Oh, God.
It would be rare to see these sudden shifts in vocal tonality in a caller who is as distraught as Dave seems to be. This was likely too subtle to have an immediate impact on the investigation, but nonetheless, it may have hinted that Dave was attempting to manufacture his emotional response during the 911 call. This is because genuine human emotion is more accurately described as a spectrum rather than a switch. In other words, he could be completely faking his emotional response. Minutes after the 911 call, police arrive on the scene to find 𝗠𝗬𝗃𝗀𝗏 deceased. The police report indicated that Dave's behavior seemed forced and unauthentic. This immediately placed Dave as a suspect, and he was asked to come in for questioning. Dave was free to refuse at this point because he was not
like, do
under
these
arrest.
dudes think like these like detectives and shit are dumb? Like, this is literally their job. And you're gonna like just fake like you're like what is wrong? I don't understand these fucking guys, bro. The worst one ever was what was that fucking guy's name? Who literally murdered his wife and daughters and then like just put him in the back of his truck? And then would just act. What was that guy's name? Yeah, Chris Watts. That fucking dude. That guy's a fucking psycho, bro. That guy's a fucking psycho.
He chose to voluntarily go to the Orlando Police Department for questioning.
Thank you.
Detectives will begin their investigation by piecing together everything they can about the evidence they find at the house and by questioning Dave. The detective's first step is to establish rapport. The goal is to make Dave feel supported so he does not exercise his right to silence or his right to an attorney. This is the first critical step to any interrogation.
Okay. Did you need something?
Restart, little bro. I just got back from CVS. I don't know what that means. I literally don't know what that means. I literally don't know what that means. You guys don't, like, you never, if you were listening to something, you don't just put it on in the car? I'm confused. You don't have, like, you don't. The fuck? No. Listen to you in a car. We not rich, little bro. Yeah, an iPhone wire means you're rich. Okay, dude. Yeah, bro. Yeah, that makes you fucking rich. Alright. I just met... Alright, okay.
Just asking for a bottle of water.
Okay, we can grab you.
Thank you.
Have you been to the restroom?
I just went.
You just went? Okay, how about anything else? Anything else?
I'm starving, a cracker or just something.
You and
just
me
with some
both.
salt, right?
Did you eat lunch? I did not eat lunch. I think the officer run and get him maybe some water? Okay, all right. What would you like to eat? And I'll run down.
Just something simple. Just like saltines or peanut butter crackers.
Anything like that? Okay,
Yeah.
that's not a problem. We'll be right back.
Okay.
And is there anything else we can get you? Okay, all right. Okay.
Why is this grown-ass man in a blankie? This is a grown-ass man whose wife just died. And he wants some crackers and a blankie? Ironic. I have never wore a blanket on stream, bro.
Okay, is that good? Okay, all right. I'm with you. I haven't eaten since this morning. I'm sorry this is taking so long. First of all, on behalf of the Orlando Police Department, we want to say how sorry we are for your loss, David.
This emotional outburst is unusual given the timeline. On its own, this may very well be a genuine reaction. However, this interrogation took place approximately 5 hours after the initial 911 call. It would be more common during this stage for an innocent suspect to exhibit signs of denial or confusion about what happened, rather than blatantly accepting what had occurred. Additionally, the reaction was a response to what the detective had said. The reason this may not make
Literally not a blanket, bro. It's literally a hoodie. But that's a nice try, though.
sense is because what happened took place just 5 hours ago, and it's not as if the detective's statement is news to Dave. A reaction such as this would have likely taken place spontaneously without any prompts if it were genuine, and it would have happened earlier than 5 hours after the fact. It almost feels like a mockery of typical human emotion. This is additionally supported by the fact that this detective later said that not one real tear was shed by Dave in this entire interview. However, it can be argued that the detective had a bias since her goal may have been to get a conviction and not necessarily the truth. It's also important to recognize nuance when analyzing body language or behavior. Exhibiting unusual body language.
What do you mean I usually skip this part? What do you mean by that, bro?
Or reacting unusually to a given situation is not the same thing as being guilty of an accusation. There is a subtle but vitally important difference in that statement. In plain English, we will analyze what's happening, but we will not jump to any conclusions without actual evidence. The reason this is being mentioned will become clear later in the video.
Also for...
Alright, type 1 if I should restart the whole video. Alright, you know what? I just want to test this out once, bro. Because people are like, yo, played in 1.25. Let's just see what it's like for a couple minutes.
everything that you're going through. I know this is very traumatic for you, okay? And it's just a terrible, terrible thing. So, what time is it? Do you know?
This isn't bad.
Okay, blonde or brown hair? Blonde. Okay. Okay. Hazel eyes, maybe?
Take hazel.
Just 90 seconds ago, the suspect was so distraught over his wife's death that he burst out crying to the point of being incomprehensible. Now, he is chuckling about what eye color he has and engaging in friendly banter. You can even see a noticeable and genuine smile as he answers the detective about his eye color. Oscillating between emotions in this context is not typical of a traumatized suspect.
Blue, hazel, okay.
They're dirty blue. Yeah.
Okay.
The next 60 seconds will better demonstrate the emotional switches that were mentioned earlier. Dave will go from calm to distraught, then back to calm, all within a matter of 60 seconds. These sudden switches are typical of a suspect who is attempting to force an emotional reaction that does not come naturally. In contrast to what you are about to witness, genuine emotions are far less likely to be prone to sudden drastic shifts. During the 911 call, we only had audio to analyze, but now we have a visual, which can help us make a more informed decision as to whether Dave's facial cues or body language provide additional information about how he really feels.
And when did you move to Florida?
In 2013,
Okay.
This is normal speed.
5 months after I met Shanti.
Did you meet her here or there?
No.
You met online? Okay.
The fuck?
I'm sorry. I know. Take your time. I'm so sorry. Can you tell me what year that was?
It was 2013.
2013 is when you met online?
Yeah.
Okay. And about 5 months later, did you move here and move in with her, or just move here?
I tried to be as accurate as possible. I believe it was the end of September. My mom moved down.
So you guys knew each other approximately 5 years this month.
Worse acting than Los? Dude, I'm a good actor, bro. I'm a good actor. I'm gonna stop pausing, but don't play with me, bro. I'm a good actor. Swag bucks? Well, I guess I gotta bring that out. I guess I gotta bring that out now. Guess I gotta bring that out.
Yo, what's up, Los?
What's up, dude?
What you doing?
I'm just making some money.
Wait, how?
On this website.
What is it?
It's called Swag Bucks. It's a research website where you can earn money and gift cards in return for filling out surveys, watching videos, testing games, and even shopping online. They even got a special right now where users are getting a bonus $5 for their first survey through my link. Click the first link in the description. Thank you, Swag Bucks, for sponsoring this video. Click the link in the description. First link.
Dude, what was that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know this is tough. Take a minute, okay? I know this is super tough.
It was so good. It was so good. It was such a good weekend. I'd never been more in love. We were so happy.
Okay.
At this point, the detective is confident in the rapport she has built with Dave. Whether his current emotional outburst is genuine or not, it is a perfect moment to transition the conversation towards getting his consent.
It's like, dude, if you can't, if you're bad at lying and acting, whatever, and why even attempt this, bro? Like, why are you even trying this shit? Like, dude.
Consent to talk after reading him his rights.
Obviously, we don't know what happened in your home today, okay? We don't know what happened to Shanti yet. We know you called us, which is good, okay? And we know that obviously she's lost her life, okay? So we do need to, you're not under arrest, okay? I want you to understand that, okay? But we do need to read you your rights because you are in a police department with 2 detectives in this room and you've been here for quite some time, okay? And I want you to understand that We're just trying to figure out what happened to her, okay? And so it's our job to do that, obviously, and we want to give you answers, her son answers. I mean, her family deserves that. Would you agree? Okay. Okay. So if you don't, I know you've probably never been through anything like this in your life, okay? And I'm going to help you get through it. So if you have questions, you want to stop me, please do so, okay? But I do need you to understand your rights.
I'm not on my phone, bro. I'm not on my phone. If you see me look down, I'm playing with shit. I got little toys at my desk, bro. The ADH. I got this, a little Thanos hand. All right. I got a little Lego Batman. And I even got and then this is not mine. Like, I didn't buy this. Someone sent me this shit in the mail. I don't play with this shit, though. So,
before we ask you about anything that happened in that home today. You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that? I'm sorry?
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Okay. Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You have a right to talk.
Now that Dave has agreed to talk after being read his rights, the hardest step of the interrogation is behind them. At this point, the goal is to let Dave talk as much as possible. There's no strategy here except making sure not to interrupt or influence Dave in any way. Any inconsistencies in his narrative will be thoroughly examined, along with any evidence found at the house or on the remains.
So I need you to we're going to continue.
I'm sorry, I don't want to keep pausing. Mods, this is the third time this guy just typed, "Can you please queef right in my face, Poppy?" Like, I understand, like, haha, we're joking around, whatever. Why do I need to see shit like that, bro?
About how you all met. I know you met on Match.com, and about 5 months of, what would it be, telephone, text, and...
We just started...
The detectives inquire about general background info related to Dave and 𝗟nci𝗀𝗃. 𝗟nci𝗃 was a very successful businesswoman who had one son from a previous marriage. Dave also had a wife who he divorced. After they were single, they were both actively seeking a new partner online. In March of 2013, the two met on Match.com and hit it off. A document that was later found on 𝗟nci𝗃's computer revealed just how infatuated she was with Dave at the time. Dave was from Minnesota, while 𝗟nci𝗃 was from Orlando, so their relationship progressed only by email and phone at the start. But after 5 months, Dave moved from Minnesota to Orlando in order to be with 𝗟nci𝗃 and her son. In April of 2015, Dave purchased a 4,000 square foot home in Delaney Park. Delaney Park is an upscale neighborhood located about 1 mile away from downtown Orlando. Dave paid for this home in full with his own cash that he supposedly earned from his previous success in business and real estate. They both loved the neighborhood and the home, but they decided to renovate the interior of the home for a more modern feel, as the house was originally designed with an older Victorian style. Together, they agreed that 𝗟nci𝗃 would pay for all the renovations, since Dave had bought the house with his own funds. Now, let's step aside for a moment and take a deeper dive into this renovation project. When Dave bought the house, he put it in a trust for himself and his mother. The reason 𝗟nci𝗃 agreed to pay for the renovations is because she was under the impression that her name would eventually go on the trust. Since Dave had paid for the house initially with his own cash, she would pay for the renovations, and by the end, they would be closer to equal partners in the ownership of the home. However, her name never made it on the trust. This means that if they were to split up, 𝗟nci𝗃 would be entitled to nothing despite investing tens of thousands of dollars into the renovation. This email, from September 21, 2016, showed her willingness to have an attorney draft up a cohabitation agreement. This is a legal document that specifies who's entitled to what and protects both parties if a split were to occur. Dave never followed through with 𝗟nci𝗃's request. Despite these financial hurdles, their love prevailed. The couple married in February of 2017. This did not solve the house title issue. Under Florida law, property is divided equally in a divorce only if it is considered marital property, which refers to property acquired by either spouse during the marriage. In contrast, non-marital property is defined as property either spouse acquired before the marriage. Non-marital property is not divided equally upon divorce. Remember, despite being together at the time, the two married after Dave had already bought the house and put it in a trust for his mother and himself. In this...
Damn, that's a thing, bro? So if you buy a house while you're married, you literally have to split that shit if you break up? In Florida. I mean, I'm getting a prenup, bro. I'm getting a fat prenup. Nah, fuck that. It's not even an insult. I feel like, yeah, that's not a dude. No, that's literally like, if someone's like against it, then that's sus. I'm not signing the prenup laws. All right, then we're not getting married. That's it. Simple. You ain't got a girl, so it doesn't matter. I mean, your name is fucking Bradley, bro. We know you never had a fucking girl. So I don't know what the coming at me, bro. I didn't do shit to you, but if we're on the subject, your name is fucking Bradley, bro. Nobody's fucking anyone named Bradley, dude. I'm sorry to tell you this. Nobody. Imagine a girl going to tell her girlfriends, "Oh, guess who I was talking to? Bradley." Bradley. She'll get laughed at in the group chat, bro. Just understand that. You will never, ever get any type of ass. Okay, Bradley Cooper's different, dude. All right, let's calm down. Let's fucking calm down. But besides that, you're not getting any ass.
Scenario, the house would have been considered non-marital property if they were to divorce. It could be a coincidence that the timeline of events worked out in this way, or it could be because Dave never had long-term plans for 𝗟𝗀𝗄𝗎. After the marriage, the renovation was getting out of control because they had stripped down the entire interior of the house. 𝗟𝗀𝗄𝗎.
Hey, thank you for all the resubs in the stream, by the way, and shout out to LosPollosTV for the gifted sub. I appreciate that.
Had paid around $250,000 USD, and the end was nowhere in sight. They had to live in an apartment above the garage because the main house had become a construction zone. The detective has now gathered background info and begins asking about the timeline prior to the 911 call.
So you had sex Saturday and Sunday, and there's no issues as far as...
She was at the end of her period, and there, it was messy.
Mm-hmm.
It was very messy. Other than that, that was...
What do you mean messy?
She was still bleeding.
Okay. So are you saying that blood is got somewhere?
I understand the gravity of the question, and at the same time, it did get on the bedspread, and it did get on the side of the bed.
What?
Which side of the bed?
The left-hand side as you face it.
As you face...
Of course, police did find blood in the room. This may be Dave thinking ahead about what the detectives will find, or it could simply be the truth. Take a note of Dave's body language in this frame. In the 30 minutes of footage prior to this moment, not once does he shield his face in this way. On its own, this moment means nothing. But in comparison to 30 minutes of Dave's natural tendencies when being questioned, it may mean that he is being deceptive, and his subtle attempt to shield his facial expression is his way of concealing his lie.
Which side of the bed?
The left-hand side as you face it.
As you face the end of the bed?
I mean, I can't tell if this is high IQ by him. I mean, he's a psycho. But is this, like, smart that he's saying this? Or is this dumb? I can't tell so far. Okay, chat. Nice, bro. Nice. We're nothing to do with soccer or football. Fake-ass sport, right? We're watching this video, and all you're doing is typing this shit. Nice, bro.
Where on the left-hand side?
Everywhere bedspread on the sheet.
So, is there something covering that up now or no?
We changed the sheets
We changed the sheets? Okay. And what day was that?
on Monday.
So there shouldn't be blood on the bed now, or is there?
There shouldn't be. She was bleeding when I brought her out of the tub. Then when I picked her up, when I pulled her, she bled more.
Then
So you're saying
I
there
would-
was some
I would
blood
get-
there.
I would guess there is blood there. I would guess there is. I would guess there is still.
Okay. So, and then anything unusual happened Sunday night? Everything good? Okay. Is she having any sort of issues at all?
She has a nauseous, watery bile vomit.
Bro. So what is this chat right now? Dude. If you're in the chat right now, just put a yo. Just literally say what up. Just say what up. I need to filter out these psychos. Every time I start zoning out and then the chat just we're watching, there's still just these literal psychopaths who sit in the chat and will type the entire, and listen, I love people who type the whole stream no matter what. A lot of people just chill, and that's cool too. But if you're gonna type the whole stream, bro, you can't be saying insane, crazy shit. Dude, come on, bro. Seriously, wake up, bro. This is fucked up.
After she eats, and that's been going on. And I know that she wasn't feeling well. Her period. I hate to keep talking about this, but this is the level of detail that we're at. Was extremely painful. Her stomach pain from the appendectomy is multiplied several times during her period. And they told her, they warned her that your first 2 or 3 periods after the surgery will be brutal. And they have been, but like I say, it felt like we were just coming down off of that. We got a bunch of information that we wanted. She had closed a couple things with her job that had been bugging her, that had been nagging her.
So it has been somewhat tense living like that and going through everything you guys have been going through, plus her medical, plus she's trying to work and bring money in. She's got stress at work. So it's been, I guess, fair to say tense, but things starting to line up.
I just would say that we've been anxious.
He nods in approval to what the detective is saying, yet his vocal answer is not in agreement. Incongruence from body language and speech may point to someone being deceptive. In these scenarios, it is likely that the gestures are communicating the truth while what's actually being said is deceptive. This will happen again in later parts of the interrogation, and it will be highlighted with text.
To get it lined up. Excuse me, I had a thought. We have the renovation paid for. We have the money for the renovation in savings ready to go. In the neighborhood we want to live in, with a yard and a pool. That's just what we've always wanted.
Dream come true.
We sleep separately
What?
most of the time. She has sleep apnea.
Does she, when you say she sleep apnea, does she stop breathing? Does she snore? Does she have a CPAP? What do you?
All of the above. She has a CPAP, but she doesn't use it because she can't sleep with it. It keeps her awake. But she snores a lot and she wakes up frequently.
So where would you sleep?
I sleep downstairs.
He says he sleeps downstairs to give Shanti and her son privacy when he comes over, and because Shanti snores. This is strange to the detectives. The couple is renovating their house, and the place they currently have to live in is small, yet they still do not sleep together. When he says downstairs, he's actually referring to the garage. This does not look like somebody's logical choice to sleep in, unless there was something else at play. This hints to the detectives that there may have been issues between Shanti and Dave prior to Shanti's death.
And where is that?
Downstairs on the couch.
In the garage area? Okay, so you wake up Tuesday morning and you're in the garage on the couch?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what your recollection is? Okay. What time did you get up?
I woke up before 7.
So you didn't have to go upstairs, or you didn't go upstairs?
I didn't go upstairs.
You didn't go upstairs. Okay. All right. So you leave approximately 11:45. Take the dogs in the white Toyota RAV4 to the Park of Americas on Andes. So far?
Correct.
Okay. Do you holler up, text her, tell her you're leaving? Any communication?
I didn't.
You didn't? So you're assuming she's home because the car's there,
Mm-hmm.
and you had already mentioned you were going to do this, so you did not communicate about that you were leaving.
No, she knew.
Is there any communication on your phone with her while you're gone? No?
No.
When was the last time you had telephone, text, on any Facebook, any sort of communication via phone?
Can't stand the chat. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like, do we have to ban people? Like, do we have to fucking ban people? Like, what are we doing right now? What the fuck are we doing right now, bro? I mean, I guess. I don't. I've never seen something like this. You're just sitting here just spamming, like, literally gibberish. You're just saying random things for no reason. Like, damn, bro. Like, if a teacher put on a fucking movie in a classroom for you, what would you do?
The day before.
All right, so...
This is hard because now I'm concerned that she wasn't okay when I left.
Now you're concerned she wasn't okay when you left?
Talking about it's hard because you're asking me if we communicated, and we were pretty efficient in the morning. She tells me, what she's got planned for the day. I tell her what I have planned. We work on it. We do our little morning strategy session, and then we race through our day to some degree to make sure that we get everything done. And
Okay.
And I wish I would have taken the time to check on her.
Dude, shut the oh my god, dude. This is so fake, bro. This is so obnoxiously fake. It's insulting. It's like insulting, bro. It's literally insulting.
Okay. What? Okay. So you think you made it to the park before noon or after?
Just shortly after.
Do you see anyone at the park that you know?
I don't.
Okay.
There are only a couple cars in the parking lot. I have 2 dogs, so I typically look. There's a large dog area which is forested, and it's pretty gnarly. There's a lot of unstable dogs, and there's almost always fights. Then there's a small dog area next to that. I tend to work the dogs there if there's nobody around, and a lot of times that's another reason for going that time of the day, is there's usually very few people there. Mm-hmm. But there's a big field off of that between a little reservoir. I don't think it's a lake. It's just a little reservoir with a walkway around it. And it's a big field between the playground, the lake, and the small dog park. And that's where I bring Charlie and Dolly.
Okay.
I think it was an hour and 45 minutes because I don't think I got home until 2.
Hour 45-minute dog walk? Did I hear that right? The hell? How many shits is that dog taking?
Did you have communication on your phone with anyone in that hour and 45 minutes?
No.
Did you text anyone, call anyone? Were you on Facebook, commenting, liking, posting?
Don't do that.
You don't do that? Okay. So you don't think was your phone with you?
I take a blue, I have a little blue cooler bag, and I just threw the phone in there, but I didn't text or call anybody.
I missed that. You said you have a blue cooler bag?
When I go, I take all my personal belongings and I put them in there. So I put the water bottle in there, I put the keys in there when I'm out in the park with the dogs.
Gotcha.
And my phone and...
If a suspect is deliberately attempting to portray a certain emotion, such as grief, it is difficult to shift their cognitive focus towards something else while still portraying that emotion. This is because forcing an emotion requires significant cognitive focus. To put it simply, if the suspect is pretending to be sad, he will likely be unable to keep up that act while actually explaining something. This may be why Dave appears to be devoid of emotion during moments of cognitive challenge. In contrast, if someone is genuinely distraught, we likely would not see a difference in emotion despite varying degrees of cognitive focus. This is due to genuine emotion not requiring any cognitive focus. For example, when you're sad, you don't have to actively think about being sad. You just are sad, and therefore you will act like you're sad.
I usually bring a treat for the dogs.
Okay.
Reward treats for the dogs. Their frisbees. Sometimes I take a big shoulder bag with some other stuff for them.
So you took your phone, but you didn't call, text, or do anything online?
Mm-hmm.
Emails? Anything at all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Chat. How many of you guys in here, if you're awake, because if I'm knocked out, obviously, but if you're awake, how many of you guys go 2 hours without even just like glancing at your phone? I want to know. Come on, bro. That's literally impossible. Quite a lot. Well, if you're like at work or something, yeah, I mean, but even then, people just have their phone in their pocket at work. I mean, unless you're doing something at work that's like, you literally can't bring your phone out. You know, me, because I got a girlfriend. Wait, so you don't check your phone? What about at the gym? 𝗟𝗏𝗪𝗏. That, again, that's like an alien trying to invade. Like, you're trying to fit in and you're just saying, like, 𝗟𝗏𝗪𝗏. Like, that's not how you... Okay, bro. Alright. On that shit, looking at girls. Sick, dude. Sick. This dude just said he's on his phone looking at girls. Okay. Alright.
And what's the first thing you do when you get home?
The detective strategically asks an open-ended question about him coming back to the house. If the suspect is innocent, it's likely that the focus here would be on his wife Shanti, since coming home to a deceased loved one is likely to be one of the most traumatizing experiences in an average person's life. However, the suspect again gives excessive details about irrelevant topics such as plants and upcoming construction projects. He is likely doing this because he wants to divert the attention away from Shanti.
I put the dogs in, kennel. I feed them. And Sunday I had moved a couple of plants, and I went out to check on them because it had rained really, really hard last night. The bougainvillea in the dry.
Los, can you read my comment just once, please? It would make me so happy, and I'll gift 1,000 subs. Listen, you don't need to gift any subs, bro. I appreciate you in the stream.
Driveway was when it rains heavy
All right, now gift the subs now, or you're fucking banned, bro. That is.
like that. It sags down so you can't drive in. So I took the pool brush on the end of the pole and I push it back to get it back up and in there, kind of locked in. We have construction starting in a couple of weeks, so I'm cleaning the courtyard in front of the greenhouse. I cleaned up some of the bougainvillea that I trimmed, put them in a waste basket. I flipped the pool pump on. I cleaned the pool out again, full of leaves, and scrubbed it.
This woman asked him what happened when you came home to your dead wife. And this is the shit he's talking about.
So you cleaned the pool twice and you fed the dogs twice. You fed them in the morning and you fed them again when you got home.
Mm-hmm.
And you cleaned the pool when you woke up and you cleaned it again when you got home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else?
As I said, I worked in the yard. I worked in the driveway, which is what we call the courtyard.
Anybody come by?
No.
Mailman, delivery folks, friends, neighbors? No? No one came over?
No.
Okay. So you're out in front by that dumpster? Is that the courtyard?
Yeah, that where we park back
Oh,
in front of the garage door.
That's the courtyard.
Where the greenhouse in that area.
And when you say you were cleaning the courtyard, what do you recall doing?
There was a bunch of wood that had, some 2x4s that had been sitting out there, and some pieces of plywood that I had moved when it started raining.
Mm-hmm. And
there were a bunch of leaves that had fallen from the trees behind, not from ours, but from the other side of the wall, basically our neighbor back then. So I had swept that up. I had done some of that on Sunday, and I did probably another 20 or 30 minutes of that around the greenhouse, in front of the vehicles, back by the pallets. We were gonna.
What the hell is this guy talking about? I'm gonna shut this off, bruh. The fuck is he saying?
Move the greenhouse so we could put a lumber pile in for framing back there, and I was trying to figure out where I was going and everything.
Okay. So you think you worked in the yard until how many minutes do you believe that was, or hours?
I would say less than an hour, but close, or more than 45 minutes to an hour, somewhere in there.
So you're closer to 3-ish?
I think it's after 3.
Okay. And then what do you do?
I'm upping the speed, bro. This guy is fucking boring.
That's all that I can remember until I went upstairs to see him.
3 to 3:15? Okay, and what happens when you enter the home? Is anything unusual? When you enter the garage apartment?
So, I could hear the water is running, but it's not running. It's not like the sound of a shower running. It's just, it's trickling out of the spout, which is weird because, you the only time that she does that is if she's going to take a shower. She would do that to heat the water. And so we always, when we step in, we always say hello at the bottom of the stairs. So I listen, because if she's on the phone with a work call, I don't announce myself. I just walk upstairs. I didn't hear her. And I could hear the water. I couldn't hear her. And something was wrong. And so that's kind of something.
Because you heard the water and didn't hear her, you felt something was wrong?
I went upstairs. I don't hear her talking on the phone. So I say hello. I don't hear anything back. I can hear water running. She's not saying anything. Doesn't seem right. Sometimes it is hard if you have the water running to hear somebody out there. So that was my assumption.
Okay, so it's one room. You don't see her?
Until
Is,
I get to the bathroom.
okay. Is the bathroom door open or closed?
Open.
Open? Okay, and so you walk toward the water that you're hearing?
Yeah, I walk in the bathroom.
Okay, the door's open, and what happens? What do you see?
I see her laying with her head in the right-hand corner. The water is running, but I don't think the drain is closed, because if it was, it would be going over it.
He seeks approval for his version of events as if it is not a matter of fact. A truthful suspect is likely to state his version of events without seeking any approval. He recalls the events as if he is asking a question, which likely means he's being deceptive.
So the water's like half full. She's submerged partially, but she's also partially not submerged, and one of her legs is kind of sticking up and out a little bit. And it's just extremely awful, and it doesn't look natural. Obviously, she fell or something happened, and I tried to pick her up. I turned the water off. I tried to pick her up. She's stiff. It's hard.
She's stiff?
It's hard to pick her up. She's not. It's like a sack of potatoes. It's not easy. She's not moving.
You just called your now dead wife a sack of potatoes. Dude. No, it's on 1.5 speed, bro. This guy's pissing me off.
With me, I grabbed her arms and kind of pulled her this way, and over, I think partially over, and that's when I realized that I wasn't going to be able to carry her. I tried to pull her. I was being as careful as I could, and at the same time I wanted to get her out of the water. I was screaming, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I pulled her out into the other room, and I didn't know what to do. It was hard to move her that way, so I turned her and I held onto her wrist. I thought that I was still thinking that there's something I can do to help. And I'm kind of moving her, trying to get her to shake her a little bit and trying to get the water out of her lungs. I got her in front of the couch, and I had to stop and put her down, and I tried to lift her head up to kind of clear. Like, I guess it's the thing you do if you're going to do CPR or something. And she's fighting. She has blood coming down her face and on the side of the body. And I'm still thinking that she's going to be okay. I got that. We had taken the mattress pad off the bed. I set the mattress pad down underneath her, and I set her on it, and I tried to lift her. And I wiped. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what had happened. I had a towel that I had used to pull her out of the shower or out of the tub with. I tried to wipe her off to see what was.
Where was the blood coming from?
The left side of her face, here on her cheekbone.
Is that the right side?
I'm looking.
Or is it both?
I don't think so. She had blood. She had blood on the side of her head and down her neck. And when I wiped the part on her cheek, it's her left. That must have been her left. So it's my right as I'm looking at her. Right? I'm looking down. My right is her left. I wipe it. And more blood comes out. The cut on her cheek.
There's a cut on her cheek? Okay. And you're pointing to the right side?
Her eye is all bruised, all the way around.
So you notice you're pointing to your right. Is that her right?
No, her left.
Her left? So you're saying her left eye was bruised?
Take it out of sub mode. Dudes are in the chat saying this guy blows, like there's gonna be like a fun murderer to watch. Like this guy's a fucking murderer.
And that she has blood coming from a cut on her face?
Underneath that eye. On the same side. And she has blood along under her nose.
Okay. I'm gonna back you up just
And the water in the tub was tinged with blood.
and you said it's hard. How full was the tub?
It wasn't flowing over the top. It was very close, but not quite.
Okay, and is the tub plugged on the bottom?
I think her head and her just long hair are on that.
Her clothing is wet or not?
Yeah.
Her clothing is wet?
Yeah.
Okay. So her hair is definitely wet, right?
Put it back in sub mode. That was a mistake. We're not taking out the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Her clothing, her tank, and her shorts are wet. And she's face down. So
if you see a sub type anything, 24-hour. Instant.
First thing you do is what, if you recall?
I reached out and grabbed. I reached out and touched her right arm.
You recall where?
Close to the shoulder, because I can't remember if it's sleeveless or low sleeve, but it's just like I tried to. She's looking the other way, and I'm saying her name, and I'm trying to pull her over. I'm trying to
Okay,
see
so
her.
You're trying to turn her on her back?
Well, she's underwater and she's looking that way down. I'm trying. That was just the first instinct to try to pull her.
Mm-hmm. Pull her over?
Out and over, yeah.
Okay. So when you turn her, before you pull her out of the water, you turn her and do you see her face?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the first thing you notice?
Her lips and her eye are both dark.
Her lips are dark?
Yeah. Purple, blue, gray.
Okay. In her eye, which eye?
It is her left eye.
And what do you notice about that?
It's all discolored. And there's a cut underneath it. I tried to lift her, which I wasn't able to really do, so I ended up pulling her kind of up and out.
And you pull her by her arms?
So I grabbed someplace on her and tried to get kind of under a little bit.
So from the moment that you entered the home until you called 911, how much time do you think elapsed with everything you attempted to do?
I've been thinking about that. 5 or 6 minutes.
5 to 6 minutes?
5 or 6 minutes. Therefore, according to his description of what happened, the police should have found water everywhere. They didn't.
It probably seems that long, but it could have been less than that. But I can't imagine it being any longer than that.
Okay. Okay. What do you feel as though, Shanti, what might have cost her life? What do you think happened? What do you think is her cause of death?
I think that she did at some point, and I don't know if it was at the point that she went back upstairs around 9:15, or if she went back upstairs and did something else, and then decided to take a shower. But I think at some point she decided, I'm going to take a shower, and she stepped in and turned the water on, like she always does, to let it heat up. And that's the point that I think something went wrong. Either she slipped, or she fell, or she blacked out, or something caused her to collapse. And either one foot in the tub reaching to turn it on, the other foot slipping outside, or vice versa. It could have been awkward. It is kind of an awkward position.
What would have caused the significant laceration that you described on her cheek?
I don't know.
What do you think would have caused the significant injuries and to her eye?
I don't know.
The one that you said was pretty swollen and shut.
It would have to have been falling directly on it without breaking your fall.
Falling directly on it without breaking your fall. When was the last time the two of you argued?
This is the first confrontation. An innocent suspect would likely refute the question at this point. They show resistance towards the question because it's not important to what happened.
Very briefly on Saturday, right before we left.
One could argue that Dave simply could be a mild-mannered individual. However, this call to his mother shows that he is not afraid of confrontation.
Hi there, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good. What happened last time? Did you disconnect for some reason?
I mean, when I hung up?
Yeah, you just answered, but you hung up.
Yeah. What did she talk about that this $40?
She didn't say that. She said that's how much you have left on your account.
Okay.
Every time you say that, Mom, it's $2 a call.
Okay.
Are you hanging up because
I'm
you think?
sorry.
No, every time you say the same thing.
Look,
What's wrong?
it makes me.
What's wrong? What's wrong, Mom? Every time I explain it to you, it's $2 a call.
Okay. Okay. Anyway.
Okay, you understand how important this is, right? Like, this is
Yes,
just not something you can forget. I'm depending on you for these things.
Yes, I understand. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but I'm pretty
Well, when
sure.
can I call you back and find out?
Well, I don't want to call her now. It's pretty late.
I just said, when. I didn't ask you to call her now, but I said, when can I call you back to find out?
Well, I'll see if I can get a hold of her tomorrow. I don't know if she works. I'm not sure exactly when I can get a hold of her, but
She's just going to pick up the phone. You're going to ask her the question, and she's going to say yes. She has a
Yes.
cell phone. You can call her anytime.
Okay, I'll try tomorrow sometime then.
Therefore, if he is innocent, it is strange that there is no resistance to the question.
To go to Max and Dottie's.
Okay, and what was that about?
We had a very minor disagreement.
Has any fight ever turned physical between the two of you?
No.
Okay. Has she ever hurt you, hit you, struck you, threw anything at you?
No.
No. Have you ever harmed her physically?
No.
Choked her?
No.
Strangled her?
No.
No.
The detective mentioned strangulation to gauge the suspect's response because the autopsy revealed that the cause of death was strangulation. His body language, including the head shaking, lack of nervous behavior, and direct eye contact, could be argued as signs that he is being truthful. What doesn't make sense is Dave's lack of resistance to being subjected to these questions the same day he has seen his wife dead. An innocent suspect would have likely not put up with this. Instead, an innocent suspect would be furious at the audacity of the detective to ask these questions at a time like this.
Have you ever strangled her or choked her during sex just for heightened orgasm? Some couples do that.
Absolutely not. No.
Absolutely not. Okay. Was there ever anything around her neck that you noticed during you removing her from the tub or attempting CPR? Was there anything around her neck at all?
No.
Okay.
No necklace. No. No, nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Did you ever, if in your assessment of her or attempt to help, have your hand on her neck at all?
Sure. Underneath, behind her,
behind her
Right.
head,
like that.
to do
And
the
then-
head tilt, chin lift?
Sure. And then also to feel for the pulse of the pigeon.
Okay. Did you ever have your hand on her neck where you would have had to have squeezed it for any reason?
Possibly when I was trying to pull her out of the tub.
Tell me what happened.
As I was trying to turn her over, I might have put my hand under her arm or on the side of her head to try to turn her like that.
She would have been, as we know now, deceased at that point?
Yes.
Okay. So prior to her being deceased, do you have any reason to have your hand around, or hands around her throat?
No, absolutely not.
That did not happen.
Absolutely not.
Okay. What do you think caused, or what do you think the injury is to her eye, the discoloration in this way?
I don't know.
This segment will be repeated, and this time, focus on the suspect's chest. Notice his fast breathing. He even has to let out a sigh because he is likely feeling the pressure and the detective's suspicion. Physiological reactions to a confrontation are difficult to manipulate in a tense environment. The detective would have immediately picked up on this, as it is easier to gauge someone's breathing patterns in reality in comparison to surveillance footage. Also, take note of the fact that the suspect is devoid of any emotion in these exchanges. This is likely because it's too difficult to be cognitively comprehending the accusation while simultaneously manufacturing an appropriate emotional response.
So prior to her being deceased, do you have any reason to have your hand around, or hands around her throat?
No, absolutely not.
That did not happen.
Absolutely not.
Okay. What do you think caused, or what do you think the injury is to her eye, the discoloration in this way?
I don't know. I don't know. I thought that she struck that side of her face because it seemed that she had the cut here and that was underneath the eye. It seemed like whatever it was, however she fell or whatever she hit, that probably happened at the same time.
The cut and the eye injury? Yeah. Do you think there's any sort of significant injury to her eye itself or to the bones around her eye at all?
What?
I don't have any reason to think so.
Okay. Her injuries to me, David, seem really significant. More significant than from a soft tissue fall. More significant than from me tripping and falling and hitting my head and being knocked unconscious. Not only are they more significant than a fall, but they're inconsistent with a fall. It's just not accurate.
Okay.
Okay. Shanti did not fall and get those injuries.
Okay.
Without question. Okay.
Okay.
They're much more significant than that. And it's inconsistent with her injuries hitting and striking anything. That is just inaccurate. Okay. Her injuries are very severe. Okay, so the trouble I'm having with your story is you're there. First of all, you're not really sharing the same residence. You're kind of living downstairs. She's living upstairs with her son. But her son's not there. So even when her son's not there, you're still not sleeping together. You're not in the same residence. So
During the day.
spending a lot of time apart, it seems, a little bit. But then conveniently you're away for a while and you come back and you find her like this. And you've had some pretty answers for just about everything we've talked about. Consistent, elaborate, detailed answers for everything we've talked about. But the issue I'm having with it is I absolutely think that she was deceased before you left to go to the park.
What?
And I think whatever happened to her happened before you went to the park.
What the fuck?
Okay. I think that you've told us a significant amount of information. You've been very cooperative. But I also think that you've left some stuff out.
What?
And I think you've left some stuff out that is maybe something got out of hand. Maybe you didn't mean for it to happen. Maybe you got upset. Maybe, but there's something that happened between the two of you before you left that house. Because she was deceased or on her way to being deceased before you left that house.
What?
And she had been deceased while you were gone. And when you came back and found her, it's pretty evident that she was deceased.
Yeah.
Cold, stiff,
Yeah.
significant swelling,
Yeah.
and a lot of bloating.
Agreed.
Okay? So whatever happened between 7 and 9:30 to 9:45 is where I need you to be significantly more honest. Now, if there's an explanation, I want to hear it.
I told you everything.
But you've left out something, David, because this woman has significant injuries. Okay, this is not from a fall.
Bro, this guy is literally shitting his pants, bro. He was talking his whole time, and now the last, minute or two of her saying this shit, he has nothing to say. Nothing to say. He's literally agreeing with this woman, basically calling him a murderer and a liar. I mean, this is just... You suck, dude. You suck.
So I need you to explain to me and to Detective McClellan what happened this morning before you left to take the dogs.
It was exactly as I stated. It wasn't, I haven't left one thing out.
Okay. Did you two argue?
No, absolutely not.
Did you fight?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Did you harm Shanti in any way?
Absolutely not.
Did you choke her?
Absolutely not.
Did you strangle her?
Without question, no.
Did you beat her?
No.
Did you hit her with anything?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Neither of you expected anyone to be at the home. She was going to be...
Why is this guy wearing a karate uniform right now, bro? What's going on, dude? Dude, what's happening right now? Also, again, no matter what, even if you're fully innocent, no matter what, okay? Never speak to the cops. Ever. I don't care if you're 100% innocent, 100% guilty. Never speak to the cops. Ever. Not even for 1 minute. Just go, I'm gonna have my lawyer, I'm gonna talk to my lawyer first, just to make sure, you know, that we're okay. And that's what you do. These guys, how many times have we seen this? Guys go in here, they think they're gonna outsmart the cops. They're gonna be like, oh no, I'm gonna just talk to them and just, you know, first of all, nobody's buying this shit, bro. Nobody's buying this. Just, dude.
Be gone to the dentist, you were going to go with the dogs. So that tells me no one expected anyone to come there for any reason. Is that accurate?
These questions by the detective are valuable if the defense team were to argue that someone else is responsible for the death of 𝗠𝗬𝗓. At the house, 𝗠𝗬𝗓's expensive engagement ring was missing, along with $5,000 in cash. Therefore, it could mean that a burglar was responsible for the death of 𝗠𝗬𝗓.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So, is she having any sort of beef with anyone else that you're aware of? Any problems?
No,
Okay. Anyone that would want to do her harm?
no.
Okay. Where's your wedding ring?
Pardon me?
Where's your wedding ring?
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
It's right here.
Why is it on that hand? I'm curious.
After we both scaled back, we both lost a significant amount of weight, and in the pool, it will slip off of this.
In the pool, it slips off your finger?
I mean, completely off the finger, yeah.
Mm.
It's barely on this one.
Wow.
So
you
either I
switched it?
either I need to resize, or I need to
Gain weight.
gain a couple pounds back to get to work.
Resize. Gain weight. Your wife died. Your wife is literally dead. This is the dumbest person I've ever seen, bro. This guy is stupid as fuck.
Or I was when I originally
I'm
got
just
it.
curious.
But,
I didn't know if that was your wedding ring or not because it was on
It
that
is.
hand.
It is, and I never take it
It's
off.
just loose. Okay. And what does she wear?
This brief moment of silence is not typical behavior for Dave during this interrogation. This may be because he has the engagement ring. It was found in his possession 4 months after this interrogation. During this moment, the detectives did not know where her ring was. But we have the benefit of hindsight, and so his silence here is more revealing. This is an important piece of evidence because it weakens the argument that a burglar took the ring, the cash, and killed 𝗠𝗬𝗓. In this replay, pay attention to the subtle silence after the detective's question about 𝗠𝗬𝗓's ring.
And what does she wear?
She has the wedding band that we.
She has a wedding band on her left hand?
Correct.
We're going to take a break. I'm going to have direct you to the restroom and we'll bring you back.
Thank you.
I'm going to get you another water. And then you've got more crackers here.
Okay.
And I don't know if there's a trash can in here, but we can help you get rid of some of this.
The suspect is left alone for approximately 2 hours to heighten the pressure after the first
Damn.
confrontation. By the time the detectives come back inside, it will be past 2 in the morning. This strategy to exhaust the suspect is very common because as mental fatigue is increased, the suspect is more likely to make mistakes and is more likely to confess in order to escape the uncomfortable interrogation environment.
Dude, this happens with me gambling. This happens at the end. When it's really late and you're really tired, you just start making bad choices, bad decisions. You can't think straight. I played poker really late at night, and like you just don't think the same. Like you can't. Your brain is fucked up late at night, bro. So this is like perfect fucking strategy, bro. What the fuck are these question marks? Oh, nah. I put it in sub mode to avoid this shit? What the fuck is this? You make bad decisions right when you wake up, Los. Yeah, the bad decision is fucking streaming, dude. It's a fucking horrible decision. Because look at this, I stream and then look. This is the chat? This is what you're saying to me? Yeah, I made a fucking terrible decision today, bro.
Hi. You doing okay?
Yeah.
You're a bright guy. If somebody was telling this to you, wouldn't you, as an intelligent person, think that something's not right?
He's not intelligent.
You clearly have no...
Stop saying you make millions. Stop saying that. Please stop saying that. For the love of God, stop. What the off your gambling losses? I don't even get what that means. How do you get paid millions off your gambling losses? That doesn't make any sense.
So, history, we looked you up in every system that I could find. I don't think by any means that whatever happened today was intentional, was planned, what was part of your character, of who you are, by any means. You have to help us.
And that's why I've tried to answer every question.
But here's the thing, is every time you say tried, it means you failed.
I have never, ever,
What?
and would never, ever hurt her.
The detective will pose an alternative question. This is a common strategy used as a first step to begin unpeeling a suspect's narrative. They will bring up that an accident could have happened, and if the suspect were to confess to this, they would then take it a step further and challenge that it was an accident.
I don't think you hurt her on purpose. David, I don't.
I would never hurt her on accident.
What?
It's
one of two things today. It was on purpose or it was an accident. You pick. But
What?
One of the two things happened. She didn't do this to herself, and there was nobody else there. What are we supposed to think? What you're saying doesn't make sense.
I'm saying I don't know what happened to her.
So when you pulled her out of the tub, you agreed with me that the water came out of the tub. There's not a spot of water on the floor, David. The carpet isn't wet. The carpet isn't wet from where she was pulled out of the bathtub, sopping wet, all the way around to the front of the couch.
True.
The carpet's not wet. There's no blood on the carpet. And I understand that whatever happened today, like I said, was not planned, was not on purpose. Whatever happened, I'm certain was an accident. And that's why none of these details are matching up with what actually was there. Do you remember, it's a pretty big case in Orange County. Do you remember?
Okay, there's only 10 minutes left. Free the plebs in the chat. Plebs, don't be AIDS. Don't be AIDS. There's 10 minutes left, and then we'll do whatever.
𝗟𝗍𝗍𝗍, Anthony. Okay. Regardless on what you think about whether she had anything to do with that little baby's dying or not, okay? What we do know is that everything that she said was proven to be a lie.
No matter what your thoughts are on the case of Casey Anthony, the detective going into this much detail about her case is a questionable strategy here. Dave is likely to be familiar with the case since he is from the same area, and Casey Anthony was found not guilty of first-degree murder. This would have only reinforced Dave to continue being deceptive if he is in fact guilty.
From going to work at Universal, from all of the different things, so where she was, the nanny, the blah, 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 all the stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Long time, unfortunately, too long later on, they find that poor little baby in the woods, right? The mother clearly, the day she makes the phone call, says, I smell a rotting body or whatever she said in the trunk of the car. If Casey Anthony had come forward immediately, or even when the mother first picked up on what was wrong with the car and said, I screwed up. I wanted to go party, I left the kid in the car, the heat killed the kid, okay? We can forgive people for accidents, for nearly anything.
I'd fuck Los on that little chair. Why did I free the plebs? I just thought about that. Why did I do that? I'm so confused right now.
But what we can't forgive is when somebody maintains that lie and that coldness. We can't forgive them for that. And if Casey had come forward and said, you know what, it was an accident, she probably never would have been tried, or I don't know, whatever would have happened with it. It was Orange County's case, thank goodness. But
I hope that you're not some guy that just goes around and takes advantage of women for financial gain. Okay? I mean, I know there's some mean people on Match.com, but I hope that
Shanti had a $250,000 life insurance policy. Yep. Dude, I swear, bro, I'm not even taking out a life insurance policy, bro. I swear, dude. I swear I'm not. Promise you, dude. This is what I'm doing. This is exactly what I'm going to do. If anything ever happens to me, there's going to be a treasure map. Clues, it'll be like National Treasure. If you want it, you got to fucking solve the riddles and shit, bro. There's no, I'm not putting any, nobody's a beneficiary, no, nothing. Nothing, bro.
mean people on Match.com, but I hope that when we dig into your past...
No, unless by that time, then I have a kid. So then my kid will get everything. It'll just go into a bank account until they turn 18.
I'm not going to find that you're going around taking advantage of women around the country. Okay? I don't think that's you. Okay? I don't think that's who David is. I think David made a mistake. I don't think what happened to Shanti is fair either, but I don't think it's fair to you.
What?
To make you some sort of cold-blooded killer monster who was out greedy for money. I don't think that's who you are. But those are your choices. You either made a mistake or you're a monster.
Dude.
Who didn't really care for this
He's
woman.
getting gaslit so bad.
Who married her because maybe she had potential to make really good money or had some money. Or maybe for the life insurance. Who knows? I mean, that's what people are going to think. But it's one or the other, Dave. You either made a mistake, or you're a cold-blooded killer.
Gaslit.
Which one are you?
I thought it was more likely she had gotten in the shower before I took the dogs than after. That's all I said.
Okay, look at.
So I was still
Dave,
surprised.
she didn't stick her foot in the shower and slip. That didn't happen.
if she did, she would have fell backwards.
And you didn't find her at 3 o'clock. That didn't happen.
I don't know that.
You don't know that? Common sense would tell you if you pull a woman soaking wet out of a tub at 3 o'clock and call the police within 6 minutes, then everything will be soaking wet when the police arrive within 3 minutes of that.
Yeah, like this guy's story, like, dude, you didn't even like put effort into your lie. Like, it's not even hard to just fucking throw water on the ground. Like, you could have just done that. You just, like, nothing made sense. Would you? No, but you know what it probably was? He probably, in a rage, just randomly just killed her, bro. Like, beat the fuck out of her, killed her, and then, like, had to just quickly cover it up. I don't know.
That's common sense.
So how did everything dry up?
That's our question. Because
It
she
happened-
wasn't pulled out at 3 o'clock. It didn't happen. I can take a shower at 6:30 in the morning, and at 10 o'clock at night, my towel's still wet. Your shower even stays wet. I mean, it's just common sense. There's blood in the water. There's another sliver of truth. I know you think you thought of everything, but you didn't.
I don't think I thought of everything. I've told you over and over, I don't know.
Trust me. The evidence and her body speak for itself. And your story is BS.
Whoa.
Nobody is going to believe that.
What the fuck?
Nobody. If you maintain that, you're going to look like a fool. Picture telling that story with your mother sitting there listening to that. Try it.
My God.
Like,
As it's picked apart by as everything you told us is picked apart by everyone who testifies.
and we haven't even hit on everything.
We're holding some of it back, waiting to hear the truth.
She pressing the fuck out of him.
Think about where you want to be in the future. You still have a future. Now's your opportunity to make it the best it can be.
Do you want to elaborate on that? What do you mean? Do you mean as to the future?
You still have a future. You still have a life to live. You're still breathing. You're a young man. You still have the rest of your life to live. I can't tell you what's going to happen to you. I don't know, because you're not telling the truth. I can tell you that she's a lead detective in this. And if you maintain this BS, she has one choice to go with.
The narrative I choose to write, based on the facts that we know.
Right.
Whether it's true or not.
But it's what we have.
You don't want me to surmise what happened, do you? Just based on evidence, testimony? You want me to tell your truth, or do you want to tell your truth? Because if I tell you truth, it's probably going to be first degree, premeditated, and I'll make you probably look like I am. I don't think that's fair, but you're not leaving me a lot of choice.
And then what happens?
You face the music.
Which is?
You face the music. You face a jury of your peers.
I feel like everything that I have said, and I know you don't want to hear this, you told me over and over. The things that you call discrepancies still ring true and are, if not perfectly accurate, directionally correct to everything.
If not perfectly accurate, directionally correct.
What?
You're talking about things like evaporation, right? And how wet something was. If I miscalculated how wet.
Directionally correct? I don't know if I know what that means. Because honestly, after today, I mean, you've had ample opportunity, David, ample opportunity to tell us the truth. Okay? No one's going to accuse us of not giving you ample opportunity to tell the truth. Because you've had it. You've had a lot of it. So we're just going to prove you're full of shit and solve this case.
What do you mean, Los, my penis bigger? Bigger than what, dude? Bigger than what are you comparing it to? Are you just saying, hey, Los, my penis just got bigger just now, like, you got a boner? Like, what are you saying to me, bro? The fuck are you talking about? Bigger than mine. I already told you, bro. iPhone 12 Max Pro, alright? So, if you beat that, cool, bro. Cool. Have fun, dude. But, until then, shut the fuck up, dude.
And I'm glad you think that's funny. I'm glad you think that's funny.
The detectives attempt to get a confession out of Dave, but it never works. They keep going in circles while Dave maintains his innocence. They eventually end the interrogation and Dave is free to go because nothing he said was incriminating. This is not ideal for the detectives. Of course, the prime objective of an interrogation in this scenario is to obtain a confession. In the real world, that does not always happen. The interrogation was still crucial and progressed the investigation in a few key ways. Dave did not exhibit typical behavior of an innocent suspect. His initial story of finding her in the bathtub is not consistent with what police found when they got there. Despite being married recently, 𝗠𝗠𝗖 and Dave slept in different parts of the house. This
weird.
likely points to domestic issues.
That's weird.
𝗠𝗠𝗖 had a $250,000 life insurance policy that Dave was the beneficiary for. This could be a motive. Therefore, this interrogation was responsible for kickstarting the investigation into Dave as the top suspect. In the months following this interrogation, other suspects were examined. 𝗠𝗠𝗖's ex-husband had an alibi and was eliminated as a suspect early on. There was a local homeless person who frequented the area and that raised suspicion, but he was interviewed and dismissed as a suspect. It was later found that Dave was a member of 𝗘𝗱𝗏𝗀𝗀, a same-sex.
The 12 Pro Max is a size of 6.7 inches. I don't know why you're reading definitions and descriptions and shit, bro. I'm just saying, don't come in here trying to fucking, you know, show off your cock, dude. Don't do that shit.
Missed as a suspect. It was later found that Dave was a member of 𝗘𝗱𝗏𝗀𝗀, a same-sex bathhouse. A witness said that they saw Dave engaged in sexual activity with other men at the club. 𝗠𝗠𝗖's family and friends have said that there was no way 𝗠𝗠𝗖 would have put up with this, and so this likely means that Dave was living a double life. Dave was arrested 4 months following the interrogation after investigators conducted their analysis.
Dude, I'm not even trying to... let me be careful the way I say this, but I got those vibes from this dude. Just the whole video, bro. I don't want to say anything because, you know, politically correctness, and I don't want to, but... bro, I feel like we were all getting those vibes, bro.
Upon his arrest, they found 𝗠𝗠𝗖's engagement ring among Dave's possessions. With the engagement ring missing, it could have been argued that a thief broke into the house, killed 𝗠𝗠𝗖, and took the expensive engagement ring as well as $5,000 in cash that was missing. But now that the ring was found, it sabotages that argument. There were also no signs of forced entry or struggle the day law enforcement arrived on the scene. This video analysis is not making a conclusion whether Dave is innocent or guilty. It only analyzed what would be considered typical behavior and unusual behavior given the context of a situation. Exhibiting unusual body language or reacting unusually to a given situation is not the same thing as being guilty of an accusation. There is a subtle yet colossal difference in that statement. At the time of this recording, Dave is being held at the Orange County Jail as he awaits trial. By the time you are watching this, the trial may have taken place. Check the description of this video for the latest update to this case.
He's still waiting trial. Damn, R.I.P. R.I.P., man. I mean, the guy was... Jesus Christ. The guy was confirmed going to gay clubs and doing gay shit, and then he gets I mean, why are you even, like, what do you even do? Like, he was just taking advantage of her, bro. The money, all the shit. R.I.P.